Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Dork Down with Boring podcast radio show extravaganza.
Hey!
The only show guaranteed to make you so excited you explode into a shower of meaty confetti.
It's actually happened. We've had reports that has actually happened. What we will say is it's not our ideal reaction. We'd rather people didn't explode into meaty confetti. But at the same time, if you have, thank you. Does mean we lose listeners quite rapidly.
Well, that's the thing. We've actually been told we'd probably be number one on the iTunes and Spotify charts.
Yeah,
but
that's
we have such an
it.
attrition rate of listeners. I mean, we've only got a fraction of what we could have if all the people were still intact and alive. But that's the price you pay. So
it's the price you pay for a good time.
Yeah, I put some plastic sheeting down before you go any further, guys, because
thank God.
If you do explode,
I put plastic sheeting down, but that's more because I don't want to stain the carpet.
Yeah, because of all of the wild cats you have in the house.
Oh, they're everywhere. You know, they're like I don't want to say rabid, but they knock about. We have a good Saturday night. The litter tray is a bit of a nightmare, but.
There's a worry. There's a worry that animals might also be reservoirs of COVID-19. So
reservoirs.
Watch out for that.
Like sponges, just like
I think so,
sucking it in.
Yeah.
You know,
like if you squish a cat too hard, it will seep out.
The Rona.
Yeah. Not a fan of that as a name.
Oh. But also,
give it some respect.
Yeah, give it some respect.
I mean the seriousness of it, not it itself. I'm not saying like it needs respect. It's not like a mafia boss.
Yeah.
Not telling you,
safe,
hey now, you show him some respect, otherwise he'll send the boys
he's done
round.
a lot of stuff here.
You come to me on the day of my new pandemic.
Yeah. You come to me.
No, see, I didn't do it. I took the high road.
You set it up. You knew what was happening. Oh God! But yes, welcome. It's great to have you back. We're here for another week. Back. I mean, yeah, it's good to have you back as well, Jake. Always.
Oh, you meant the listeners? I forget this is for anything. I think it's just sort of like community.
There's others listening in on us.
Check in on Jamie, see how he is.
There's others listening in on us.
They're aware.
They're aware. But yeah, cheers for coming back. Another weekly dose of what's going on, what's happening in the world of music, stuff you should check out, all the fun of the fair. There's a lot going on this week. But before that, let's
proof that people are listening in and proof that they have opinions.
Real proof. It's the mailbag. The Dork mailbag is here. Jake, do you have our first little message in?
So
what are people saying?
I've actually received a message that I'd like to share with you. It's from Crystal with a K from South London. And Crystal has asked us, they've said, hey! ! So kind of more like a, hey!
Hey.
Yeah, I imagine sort of like Krusty the Clown, kind of, hey. If you could hear one album played in full, what would it be? Jamie?
I think I would really enjoy. I'd have a fun time listening to the recent Ghostbusters film.
Yep.
Obviously the remake that came out. I would have to go with the official soundtrack for that.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. No further questions.
No further questions at all. I mean, I must say the soundtrack for the latest Ghostbusters is astounding. Let me talk to you about Wolf Alice. We're on there with Ghoster.
This is such a detailed answer, Jamie, that anyone would think you'd made this question up and pretended it was from someone else just so that you could give this answer.
I've got to try and get Ghostbusters. It's always in there. It's always in the back of my head. This album is always there.
Who are you going to call?
Let's not forget the famous collaboration of Mark Ronson, A$AP Ferg, and Passion Pit on get Ghost.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I tell you what, my favourite one actually. My favourite weird movie soundtrack song, like collab. Pixels, that really, really awful film where like video games came into real life. I think with Adam Sandler, maybe.
Maybe I think it was that one with Pac-Man roaming about.
Yeah. The main song from that was a collaboration between Waka Flocka Flame and Good Charlotte. I'd recommend you give it a listen. It's like if you're ever sitting at home and you think to yourself, I would love to make music, but I just don't have the talent to make a good song. I just need you to listen to that and think that no matter what good music Waka Flocka Flame and Good Charlotte have made, they would have been paid more for that Pixels song than anything else they've ever done. Yeah, they would have made more
money out of that.
And it's horrible.
Makes you wonder. It's horrible. If not Ghostbusters, I guess Hard-Fi stars of CCTV.
Was that just because they followed you on Twitter the other day?
They did. Shout out to Hard-Fi. It's great to have you on board with me, I guess. I don't want to brag, but it's been a wild week. But yeah, that'll be the one. Jake, what about you? What album would you like to hear him for?
Mine would have to be the seminal Millennium by Will Smith.
Unbelievable.
I don't have any... Wait, is that the name of the album? Yeah, that is the name of the album. The one where he's like leaning forward and looking down, and it's obviously got Millennium on it, which is a classic.
Wild Wild
where
West on that?
He says the new millennium. Oh, sorry. Millennium. And then, yes, of course, the best song ever recorded by anyone, Wild Wild West.
Yippee-yo,
Wiki Wiki Wah Wah, Wild Wild West.
Oh, and that's it. I mean,
have you ever seen Wild Wild West?
What, the film? No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Watch it.
Is it good?
Because when it came out, it was obviously bad, but now it's so ludicrous. Now, I couldn't recommend it enough. Honestly, it's like doing Class A drugs in one of those rides at the fun fair that spin you around really, really quickly, but for free. There's giant mechanical spiders. Will Smith does a theme song where he says "Wiki Wiki Wah Wah Wild Wild West." I mean, what more could you want? That's great.
I mean, what more could you want?
It feels like a kind of parody Nicolas Cage movie, except Will Smith's in it.
Also, Will Smith, you know, whatever he touches turns to gold.
But I also think the good thing about this is Wild Wild West came out in June 1999, right?
Oh, good year.
And Millennium was obviously released. Obviously, it was released at the end of that year. So by the time this album came out, Wild Wild West had been absolutely panned and forgotten about. And then just like at the end of this album, he's just got like the theme song to his first movie that everyone thought was shit. Like,
Will Smith is not messing about. You know, he's just like, you can have this. And everyone also has to just go, yeah, all right then. We'll take that, Will.
Because I think in hindsight, it feels like, they're both 1999. They're basically the same. But really, if you think about it, imagine if the film came out today and then in 6 months' time, like the person who wrote the soundtrack released a studio album, which wasn't a soundtrack album. This was just an album that they were releasing. And then just right at the end of that album, they just threw in the theme song to a bad film. Just like literally, have that. Enjoy it.
Artists of the world, please take note. We want more shit theme tunes. We need them. You know, we need them like bread needs butter.
Also, how many tracks would you say a normal album has? How many tracks before an album is considered done?
I mean, like the usual, probably about 12, maybe. That's like a usual album. 10 to 12
anything above 12,
a usual album.
Anything above 12, that's a long gravy, isn't it? They've just gone like, I want to add a few more tracks. Millennium, that's 15 like tracks
the bisque
long.
On the biscuit, you know.
So it's not right. Millennium is 15 tracks long. So it's not even like he was 11 tracks in and went, I need a 12th track. I better add on Wild Wild West.
He's got them.
Yeah, he's got them. And then track 14, Wild Wild West.
I rate it Will Smith. I mean, you've sold me on this. I would like to see that played in full. I think the last time Will Smith played a show in the UK was when he played in Blackpool a few years ago. Because entertainment capital of what, the Northeast, Northwest. I've angered someone with that.
The North.
Blackpool has donkeys. Anyway, I've got a letter here. In the mailbag. Sarah from Hull has asked a question which, to be honest, we ask ourselves every day. She's just asked, who let you do this show? Dork Magazine.
Pope Francis.
Yeah, we have the blessing of a few people, actually.
We do. Just those two, I think, Dork and Pope Francis.
Dork and Pope Francis. The Vatican, apparently, really enjoy the music of Milk Teeth. Spread it.
Too. They sure do.
Jake, have you got another little cheeky mailbag message? I
guess we better whiz through these. I already did talk about Millennium for too long, didn't I? Greg from Aberdeen has asked us.
Hi, Greg.
Said, afternoon, Dork. Good afternoon, Greg. Nice to see you. I hope the family are well. I have some hooks in my room, and I want to hang some posters up. What would you recommend?
Wow. Very specific art design question.
That.
You know. Yeah.
Is that what's he asking here? He has some hooks and he wants to hang some posters up. What would he recommend? We'll hang the posters up? That's what I recommend.
I don't know if he's asking the actual... Is he after the actual advice, or is he more after like what posters should I put up? Greg's been a bit unclear on this.
See, okay. Well, if it's that, then you should put up a poster of the album cover of the seminal Millennium. Actually, no, you should put up one of the album before that, which I think it's the album before that. It's earlier anyway.
He had another album. What, the Fresh Prince?
Millennium was the second album, and the first album was called... The first album by Will Smith, in which he was not laughed out of the room, is called Big Willie Style.
Yes!
Big Willie Style.
He clearly was a big fan of the blockbuster Free Willy. So if you want to hang up a big whale doing that over the top of a little kid, you can get that. I would highly recommend that.
So I think so we should get a poster of Groundskeeper Willie, a poster of Big Willie Style, and a poster from the movie Free Willy.
Yeah, exactly that. And then your room is surrounded in willies, you know? A real,
I tell you what, this album's actually better. I'm looking up this album.
What, Big Willie Style?
Yeah, it's got Men in Black on it. Again, just fucking chucked at the end as if it's not a movie song. It's also got Miami, which is a banger, and Getting Jiggy with it.
I'd say that's better.
Sorry, Getting Jiggy with it, as it's said.
Could you please put the accent on, please? Come on, man.
Man's got bangers. I gotta say, Will Smith got bangers.
Legend. Also the cleanest rapper in the world. Not by hygiene, though I presume that he does smell like, you know, an absolute summer day. But also doesn't swear that much as well. So good for the whole family.
Yeah. I think he got through 5 albums or so with Jazzy Jeff and didn't swear once.
Yeah. And it was just an unfortunate coincidence that he called his album Big Willie Style. Because, again, he was a fan of Free Willy. And he only found out when everyone was like, it's just an unfortunate, you know, coincidence. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, I'd heartily agree with Jake there. Multiple different images of, you know, Willie the housekeeper. He's not a housekeeper, is he? Schoolkeeper. The album cover for Big Willie Style and Free Willy. Hang it on your walls. Loud and proud. I recommend.
I gotta say, I'm reading the lyrics to Men in Black, and they're pretty good. None of them are weird. You know what I mean? They're all about what would happen in the film. None of them go, like, off-piece. I already thought it would just be like Men in Black, and then he's, like, trying to rhyme stuff with black. But no, he's gone in. He's talking about hypnotizers,
Will Smith
neuralizers.
is a good...
Walk in shadows,
this is
move in silence, guard against extraterrestrial violence. The guy's got the word extraterrestrial in there without breaking a sweat.
Eminem would only dream of trying to get that in. He had no chance.
Yeah, I think so.
You know? Also, let's not forget Will Smith's obviously Switch, which is obviously, hey, huge.
Yeah, that's a good one. Can we actually play Millennium? No, I think we should play Wild West.
We should play Wild Wild West. Okay, yeah. I mean, we have the power to do this, so yeah, why not? Jake, can you do the introductions? Because I didn't see this coming.
This is Wild Wild West by Will Smith, the best song ever recorded about giant robotic spiders in the Wild West.
So if you barking up the wrong tree, we coming. Don't be starting nothing. Me and my partner gonna test your chest, loveless. Can't stand the heat to get out the wild west. When I roll into the wild west. When I stroll into the wild west. When I bounce into the wild west. We're going straight to the wild west. We're going straight to the wild west.
I reckon we just call the show there. I reckon we call the show there. Like, it's not, there's other stuff to talk about, but does it get better?
Yeah, it's only downhill from there, isn't it?
Thank you once again to everyone for sending in stuff for the Dork Mailbag. Greatly appreciated. I hope we've answered some of your questions. And if not, send them in again. We'll try next week. We'll give it a go. We'll be here. News, Jake. News.
Sorry,
what's been going on?
I'm reading the lyrics to Wild Wild West. Okay, right, all right, okay.
What's been happening,
no
Jake?
No more Will Smith.
Get you back.
News. New music that isn't 21 years old.
What's been happening? Well, I've got some news for you, and it is around the band known as Idols, who have announced full details of their third studio album. I think, a few weeks back, we talked about how we predicted that roughly the album would come in October. We were just a few days off because it's actually set to land on September the 25th. It's called Ultra Mono, the new album.
Isn't it called Ultra Mono?
Mono or mono?
Well, surely it's
tomato,
mono.
Tomato.
Right, I don't actually know. I could be wrong, but I feel like mono.
Potato. Who knows?
Yes, it's called Ultra Potato.
And it's coming out September the 25th. It's the follow-up to 2018's Joy as an Act of Resistance. We obviously heard Mr. Motivator a few weeks back as their return. But they're obviously announcing this news with another track called Grounds. Another one for Willie the Groundskeeper to really get stuck into. Yeah. You'd love that. Shall we just have a listen to it?
I would just like to say, I want to preface this by saying I really like Idols. I think they're good.
Oh,
right?
No. Oh,
I'm a fan. I've interviewed them. I've been to see them multiple times.
Am I going to have to send some apology letters out?
Well, no, this is more of an issue with this thing that bands do when they release a new album and they're like, this is a real departure, We've been listening to some crazy stuff, and this is going to sound mad. Like, this is just an Idols song. It's a good Idols song, and maybe it's a bit slower, but it's like it's got that kind of Idols build up, that guitar, and it's all. Obviously it's the same people. Why wouldn't it be? But like,
why wouldn't it be?
Anytime you read anything about the new stuff that a band's putting out, they make it sound like it's going to be like some waltz music or something, and then you listen, you're like, oh no, actually, it's just the same sort of music they've been making the whole time.
And we're a fan of it. We love it.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say,
it's great stuff. Just wanted to say, I'm a fan. You can think about that as you listen to this new one. This is Grounds.
That's a sound of strength in numbers. There's nothing brave and nothing useful. You strolling your aggro shit on the walls of the cubicle. Saying my race and class ain't suitable. So I raise my pink fist and say black is beautiful.
I am I. It's the reason why I'm not in the band.
It's an Idols track, isn't it?
It is an Idols track. It's a great Idols track.
Does what it says on the tin.
That new track is out now. Ultra Mono, September the 25th. They're also going to be doing some exclusive like live stream shows that are going to take place at the end of August. Basically, if you can order a ticket for the show now, but you have to like pre-order the album, so you have to do all of them. It's going to be in an iconic studio, which is actually how one estate agent described one of the flats I was looking at not too long ago. I doubt they'll be performing there because there was a leaky tap and it smelt of urine.
There always is.
But who knows? They might be there.
See,
it was
I
iconic.
think these live streams, they're nice as a bonus to ordering the album. I'm not sure.
Nice,
I've seen a couple that have been sort of selling the tickets as tickets to a show, and I think for that I'm like, it's not, is it?
It's not that. Yeah, it's not that.
Like, to me, it is a nice one. If you've ordered the album, it's nice. And I do also appreciate that, like, you know, bands don't have that income at the moment, and everyone's trying to sort of work out a way to do it that isn't completely weird. But I do think it's still, there's something about paying money to then just watch something on the TV. I think it just goes to show I'm not a sports fan, so I'm not used to pay-per-view events. I haven't ever paid for WrestleMania. That's the only sport I know, WrestleMania.
The famous sport.
Yep. Wrestling and chess. You know? Those are the two sports I know about.
The Undertaker couldn't get my money, so why can anyone else? You know, it's fair.
Exactly. But this leads into another thing, which is also in the
music.
news. Live from the drive-in, which is... Get away!
They're not playing.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it's this new thing, so drive-in gigs. What do you reckon, Jamie?
Drive-in shows. I mean, you've seen, like, you know, we've seen online, like, you know, bits and bobs, haven't you, about it? Like, people trying it out in, like, different countries and stuff. And it's now kind of coming to the UK. So, you know, I think it's interesting. Like, you know, people are trying to find new ways to put on shows. And at the moment, we can't go to, like, our favourite venues and see amazing bands, like, you know, all the time. Shout out to, obviously, the Music Venues Trust and Save Our Venues. You know, obviously, we want them back, you know, when we can get back out to shows.
Well, this is the other thing, isn't it? As you say, is making sure they're all still there when we can go back to them.
That's it at the moment. You know, obviously, there's a very serious issue with that. And I think everyone here at Dork kind of fully stands with, you know, music venues and, you know, trying to survive during this time. So obviously, while we're
Jamie's
here,
also trying to survive during this time.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, but don't donate to me. I've got loads of dry egg noodles in the fridge. But what I would suggest is in the fridge. Yeah, you know, keeps them contained. Dry egg
noodles in the fridge.
But what I would suggest is if you can donate any money to the Music Venues Trust, they are like helping out a range of venues. So if you can, please do that. But in the meantime, this kind of feels like the next step, doesn't it? You know, drive-in shows happened all over the place, and now it's coming to the UK. So it's called the Utilita Live from the Drive-In. It's going to be happening from like the end of July through to like September at the moment, and it's going to be happening like all across the UK. So this is it. It isn't just like a one-stop. Oh, you've got to be here. There's like, you know, venues in like, it's going to be set up in like Leeds, in like Bristol, in like, where else have we got here? We've got like Liverpool, at the races. If you want to go to the races, Newmarket, Cheltenham, Milton Keynes, and in London, TBC. So we'll wait and see where that ends up. But yeah, range of acts playing. So for example, all you need to do is get a car, get a few mates, you know, dive into a car, and you can go and get tickets to go and see basic performances from like Kaiser Chiefs, Dizzy Rascal, Gary Newman, famously, Spandau Ballet frontman Tony Hadley, and The Streets, which will be amazing, right? You know,
they're
The
all
Streets.
Not playing the same gig. It's not like Tony Hadley on vocals, Mike Skinner in the corner. It's not that. I got actually two things about this.
Yeah.
Two things about this. Number one, the space thing is what gets me. Because I think, like, I wouldn't mind a drive-in gig as opposed to a live stream. I think that gets... I mean, obviously it's not as good as just going to a gig, but that's a nicer experience. It's more of a night out.
It's a live show, isn't it? It's an experience. Yeah.
But the space thing to me is just, I mean, like, if you're looking at this, I mean, The Streets, for example, at Glastonbury was out of the tent. And that was that was a big stage. So it's like, well, how much are you charging, and how big does the space have to be for you to get enough people there for that to be worthwhile, and not have it so that people are so far away they can't really see what's happening. So I don't know how they're going to do that. It's going to be an interesting one on that. But I guess, I mean, as they're not performing at all at the moment, you know, it's even if it's 300 people, it's better than not playing to anyone, I guess.
And it's worth adding. It's going to be like a full production, so they're basically going to, you know, take to the stage as if they are playing, you know, like a gig at Brixton Academy.
It's a proper gig, isn't it? It's just like, the audience
it's going to be a
is the only
proper
thing
gig.
that's different.
It's just audience spaced out. Every car has like its own area. And you can basically, there'll be an area where you can come out of the car and stand outside in this space that you have.
Stand out ballet. And my second point is that they're not fooling anyone by booking a lineup, which makes complete sense right up until you get to Gary Newman, and then you go, oh yes, because he has the song about being in a car. It's like Kaiser Chiefs. Yeah, they'll pull some people in the streets. Yeah, oh, yeah, I can imagine that. That was going to get a big audience.
Dizzy Rascal.
Yeah. It's like Gary Newman. It's like, look, nothing against Gary Newman, but I mean, you have just booked him for the song, haven't you? It's the car song.
Yeah.
That's why you've got him. No one's arguing Gary Newman has the same pull as the streets, but the streets don't have a song about being in your car. So
can't wait to see Foo Fighters do their famous single "Wheels" at an upcoming drive-in show soon. But yeah, it's tickets are on sale. Well, when you hear this from like that Monday, like today, they're on sale. I personally am going to try and dive into a car and get to the streets. Really.
Me too. Although I don't own a car, so what? Am I to get an Uber there? Get a black cab.
You can't hitchhike. Yeah, you can't hitchhike.
Well, this is the issue as well, isn't it? Is that I don't have a car, so I can't even get in a mate's car, because then, you know, what's that all about?
Social bubble and all that.
This is elitist. It's not going to happen. This is.
Unless me and you, let's like make like a cardboard car, and let's turn up and see what happens. I reckon.
I'm not going anywhere near you, I'm afraid.
Again? Oh, what was that? Utility line for driving. There's going to be more names. There's going to be more names announced as well soon. So we'll keep an eye on that. And happy days. The live music returns in some form.
Sort of, a bit.
Sort of.
This is like in a film where they're like, I can bring your wife back, but she'll be but a shade of her former self.
It's
like cursed monkey paw kind of stuff. Hey,
and it's like Ricky Wilson from the Kaiser Chiefs.
3 things, right? In Harry Potter, it's like the invisibility cloak and the super powerful wand, and then like the stone that could bring people back from the dead, right?
Yeah.
But that third one didn't really work properly. The wand was really powerful, and the cloak made you invisible. And then they were like, yeah, but he didn't really bring someone back from the dead. It was all a bit shit. And I'm like, God, what? Like, he said you could have whatever you wanted, and you asked for something, and then he shafted you.
You fucked it up.
It's just not on, is it? Well, no, I don't think it's his fault. He said he could have whatever he wanted.
I mean, it just goes to show, really, that J.K. Rowling is an awful person, because she managed to fuck that up.
Well, she's an awful person anyway, but yeah. Anyway, moving on to non-awful people. More news.
Yeah, in the opposite to awful people, Dreamwife are back with another new track. It's called Temporary. It is off their second album, So When You Gonna, which is coming soon, out in July. It's a brand new track, and obviously a very different shift it feels for Dreamwife. Who, obviously everyone's used to Dreamwife, big old, fun, high energy, going for it, at shows and everything. But Temporary is a bit more stripped back and a bit more reserved. And it's a track with a really,
I think from the album there's going to be more of that kind of stuff. This is very much, it feels like a song that they wanted to make. And obviously it deals with a lot of sensitive issues as well, so I don't want to fuck around on it, basically. But you can see why it's a different sort of vibe, and I don't think they're going to be taking that with the whole album. And it's still a great song. I still think they do it really, really well. But yeah, it's definitely a change of pace. But I think one that makes sense as well.
And it's interesting, isn't it? It's and they nail it as well. It's a really great song. And it kind of shows, if people have thought, okay, Dreamwife is, this is what Dreamwife is, they're kind of breaking away from that a bit more. With this, obviously, this new track.
I'm quite surprised at how massive the shift is and how well they pull it off, to be honest. I mean, I really like Dreamwife, but I think any band, when you listen to them make one type of music consistently, when they shift gears, it's always a surprise when you're like, oh, this is actually really, really good as well. Like, if I didn't know that they already made different kinds of music, I'd listen to this and be like, yeah, that sounds like what they do, you know? It doesn't feel hackneyed or weird, you know?
No, exactly. It's very just like, amazing stuff, and it just makes you just more, you know, excited for what's to come with that second album, which is out, as you say, in July. As we mentioned, the track obviously is kind of like really dealing with the subject of miscarriage, and you can read kind of a lot more about it over on the Dork website where we've written up about it. You can kind of delve into that a bit more. Also, they've also announced that Bandcamp pre-orders of their album, proceeds from that will be donated to Black Minds Matter and Gendered Intelligence. So all in all, brilliant people doing brilliant things.
Yeah, good stuff.
Wonderful stuff. Let's have a listen.
Give it a listen.
Yeah, go on then. This is Temporary.
How is it to love and live temporary? How is it to love and live temporary? If the heartbeat fails, no, I'm here with a full embrace. How is it to love?
Lovely stuff.
Good old stuff from Dreamwife, Temporary.
And we've kind of cheated there because that is a new track.
I'll be honest.
We're now going to sort of sidle over into the tracks because we only get 4 of them, and there was so much good stuff around.
Yeah, we've been cheeky there, but also we make the show, so we can be a bit cheeky like that. Yeah. Don't you dare! New music, new tracks, new sounds. Jake, what has been pricking your ears on the old wireless set?
The new Killers track, Jamie, My Own Soul's Warning. What I absolutely adore about the Killers is that they can release the classic Killers, get really famous, then release something like The Man, which is really, really out there and different, and then release this track, which literally sounds like it could have been on one of those early albums.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? It feels like they're going back.
They've just fully just gone, you know what, let's just make another really classic Killers song. And I listened to this and I thought, I've still got it. Yep, there it is. It's almost like painted by numbers for them. You know what I mean? Like they've sat down and gone, hey, Mr. Brightside, you know how everyone sings that every single opportunity when they're pissed? We'll just make another one of them.
Like,
all right, no worries.
Why
10
not?
minutes
Why
later,
not? Yeah, why not?
knocked it out. Here it is.
It's a big old song, isn't it? It's like, Jesus Christ, get ready to tear down the walls because we're kicking them in, as they say.
But get ready
Rome.
to tear down the walls because we're kicking them in. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, we're having fun. Jake, should we have a listen?
Yep, please. Anything to stop the talking.
It's the Killers.
I tried going against my own soul's warning, and in the end, something just didn't feel right. Oh, I tried running from the memory in the morning, but the penalty kept on pouring. And now I think I know why. 'Cause when I hit the ground, it made a messed up sound, and it kept.
God, that's a huge song. Christ. On a Bike. That's a big song.
It is. A huge song.
It's a massive song. Good
It's a
old
big
Killers.
song.
They're
It's a large song, Jamie.
It's
a
would you like
girthy
the Venti? The Venti or the Grande? Oh, would like the Grande, sir. Served
No, the
into a
Venti's
cup,
the big one, isn't it?
Nuzzled down. You know.
The Venti's
is
the
it?
biggest one. Yeah.
I'll be
Venti
really honest.
means
I just
20,
walk
which means it's like the bucket, isn't it? It's the one where you put your ears in it if you wanted to. But both ears in at once.
I'll be really honest. When I go into a coffee shop, I kind of just say medium or large, which is a cop out. I know
it is. Well, all of the Starbucks sizes mean large, except for the biggest one, which means 20. So it doesn't really make any sense. I think that's from a film or a TV show. so it's not my joke. It's not my observation. I have no original thoughts to offer. My mind has been rendered mush by TV. You got a track for us, Jamie?
It's great to have you on board once again, Jake. I've got a new track that I want to play. This time it's from the Ninth Wave. Heard of the Ninth Wave, Jake?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the first 8, but they really nailed it 9th time round.
Fuck's sake.
Only you can find that funny. You
make
make me feel endlessly hilarious, Jamie.
I find the world hilarious. If I don't find it hilarious, we all cry. So it's all fun and games.
Okay.
Anyway, the Ninth Wave. They're back with a new track. It's called "I'm Only Going to Hurt You." We went from very positive to "I'm Only Going to Hurt You." That's been quite a bit actually. It's the next track coming from their new EP called "Happy Days." See again, the emotions, they flip, they flop, they do all of it. What we like. Do you know what? I'm just going to shut up and I'm just going to play it. Shall we? This is "I'm Only Going to Hurt You."
But I could never break my own skin and let the blood spill into open arms. You're a pain in my chest, the softest thorn in my side, the perfect sort of heartache. And I don't want to watch my severed heart break. And I don't want to watch my severed heart break. 'Cause I'm only going to hurt you. And I don't want to watch my severed heart break.
Do you like that, Jake?
Yeah, it was nice. Enjoyed it, yeah.
No, had a good time. I can see the smile beaming.
Very good time.
Nice. This track is it's probably worth noting. Yeah, that Happy Days EP is out end of July. Also produced by Faris from The Horrors. Not bad, Not bad. He's doing all right.
That is all right, isn't it? Still trading off that Horrors name. To be fair, no, that is a very good track. I was holding back on you, Jamie. That is a very good song. I'm looking forward to that EP. I think it'll be a nice one.
Nice. Happy Days. Do you know what? I'm just going to go full steam. Do you want another new track?
All right,
Jake?
fine. We'd normally take it in turns, but yeah, mate, no, go for it, yeah.
I've just gone full steam ahead because I just want to play this new one. So, we like to, obviously, big artists coming back, play some big tracks, acts we've supported a number of years. But this is like we've done before, this is a new group that just pops really out of nowhere called Folly Group. They're from London, or based in London. And they have kind of been building themselves up a little bit as part of that Windmill Brixton scene, with the likes of Shame and Black Midi and PVA and a bunch of others. Obviously have played down there in that venue and obviously made it what it is. These are kind of a new band coming through that. Obviously, not so much now because we're at home, but they're doing things differently. Folly Group.
You can tell they're doing things differently because this song isn't on bloody Spotify.
It isn't. It isn't even on Spotify. Look at the science of it. You're gonna have to go to YouTube for it.
Which is fine, and it's a very good song. The video is actually pretty fun as well, so I do appreciate that. But also, come on, I'm a busy man. I've got walls to stare at and pubs to wish I was in. I don't have time to be looking around for tracks that aren't on Spotify.
I've tried to fit things into Jake's schedule, and he simply will not have it. So if you're just dropping it on YouTube, it's not going to go down well. It's just not.
No.
But this that's what Folly Group
is it on other streaming services? Is this an anti-Spotify thing? Have I accidentally endorsed a terrible company? Is it on other things?
I don't know if it's a specifically anti-streaming thing, but I think they've just gone, nah, fuck it. We're gonna go on YouTube. Look at the video first. Maybe that's it. It's an artistic thing. Look at the video. Don't look at anything else.
But we can play it here and circumvent that. Yeah. We play it now, right? We play it now, and then it's. Oh no! Does the version on Spotify doesn't have the whole track in it, does it? I thought we could sort of smuggle it in that way, but no, I guess. No. I guess if you're listening live, you get to listen to the track. If not, you'll have to YouTube it. I'm sorry. I wish we weren't living in the dark ages too, but apparently this is just the life we lead now.
blame the copyrights. And if you're listening to this full, great little treat for you, an audio treat. This is a Fewer Closer Friends.
I am desperate to be admired. There's this desperately selfish demon I've acquired. So I run in the mornings, but the fucker's not tired. I am desperate to be admired, cause then I'll have fewer closer friends. Complicated men, the only ones left, the vessels of regret. Ideology congeals, ideology reveals. Fewer closer friends, through a blurry cracking lens.
Ooh, I love that song. What a track. Polygroup. Fewer Closer
It's very
Friends.
good, yeah, it's very, very good.
Wonderful stuff.
And on a genuine note, I think it's that kind of thing, like, as you say, with the windmill sort of bands and that.
Yeah,
I think
we don't want
if
to say
you're-
scene, because that's
Yeah.
like...
I don't think it is a scene, really, is it? Can you call it a scene if they're just playing a similar venue? This is the issue,
It's
isn't
more
it?
of a setting. It's more of a setting than a scene.
It is,
you
yeah,
know?
it is.
It's the backdrop, you know?
Yeah.
Deep.
And also, I think these scenes always get attributed to bits of London, which I think is just because most of the media live in London, and they're like, yeah, that's where it's all happening. You see, 2 or 3 bands come out of somewhere up north, and people are like, yeah, now there's a scene there. It's like, no, I think these are just bands, especially like
These
the
are
South
just
London
bands
one,
in
like
the
Matt
area.
Maltese and Fontaine's DC, who are from Ireland, and Shane. It's like, yeah, there's a scene, and they're all in South London. One of them sounds completely different to the other two, and one of them's from Ireland.
There we go. Done.
But no, I think
Nailed it.
this is the kind of thing with the smaller bands like this. I think Folly Group would be doing great at the moment. That kind of summer pub gig scene. You pick up so many fans
100%.
there. Like you play a track like that live when you're a support band. Like that's enough to make a lot of people check you out. And I think it must be hard at the moment because you're not going to get
definitely.
booked for one of these big drive-in gigs. You just got to keep plugging away.
You're not Gary Newman unless you write a song about cars, and then they might
That's
have
the
a look
thing.
at
Write
you.
a song called "Trapped in My Car at the Drive-In," except for a bit of outside space I'm allowed to stand in, and you'll get booked.
Utilita live at the drive-in. This is the track. You will definitely get booked. We don't book it, but we're just saying you probably would get booked. Go for it. Why not? Polygroup.
Right,
Wonderful.
I've got a track for you. I've got a
go
track
on,
for
then.
you, Jamie, that is going to blow all these out of the water by sheer lunacy. It's
Lunacy.
Ashnico featuring Grimes, which is enough to make you realise this is going to be pretty weird. And
gonna
it's
be a
called
lot.
Cry. It's a lot. That's all I can say. I think it feels a bit like a sensory overload. I'm enjoying. I can't think of a partnership better than those two, to be honest. When you see two acts working together, you're like, yeah, well, obviously, of course,
Yeah. It just works, doesn't it? It's just like, yeah, that's a winner right there. God. And this is it as well. It's like it's a short track, isn't it? Like looking at the
I think
timer,
it's about 2
it's only
minutes
like
or something, yeah.
a couple of minutes. Not messing about. Here's the,
No.
it's like bam, there we go.
Plus,
off
if
to
you
the
think
races.
about it, Grimes has just had her first child, R2D2, and she's out here. C3PO's back in the cot, and she's out here making new music. It's impressive.
It's amazing stuff. R2's
For
all fine.
any
Don't
people
worry.
under the age where they don't, that's like BB-8 in Star Wars, but he's the bigger, older version.
R2's in the newer ones, but
Yeah, but only as a kind of
classic,
prop,
isn't
isn't
it?
he? The old man, they wheel him out just to say, look at him. Look at him, he's nothing on BB-8. What were you thinking? He's a figure of fun. I won't have it. I won't have him slandered like this.
Oh god.
So anyway,
Right,
Grimes
well-
has left M25 at home, and she's here making this new track, and it's great. This is Cry by Ashnico featuring Grimes.
Bitch, are you trying to make me cry? Are you trying to make me lose it? You win some and lose some. This could get gruesome. Bitch, are you trying to make me cry? Are you trying to make me lose it? You win some and lose some. This could get gruesome. Trying
Jamie, do you ever think about how horrible the surname Musk is for a human being?
Yeah, it's like if your surname was like Oder. You know?
Elon
My
Sweat.
name is Frank Oder. You know? Oh God, it'd be awful, wouldn't it? Like you just be like,
That's all I got on that. Great song though. Also, that is an amazing song, and she is incredible anyway. I don't want to focus this all on Grimes, but some bangers coming out of there.
She's amazing. Like, she feels like, she's like ready to take over. Like, everyone should be looking squarely in her direction.
I feel like she's one of those people that you'd hear about for the first time, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is cool," and then you like go on Spotify or like whichever streaming service you use, and they'd be like, "Oh, like 18 billion listens." And you just go, like, here I am, late to the party again. I feel like you'd mention it, a track by her, and you'd have like a 11 or 12-year-old nephew or niece, and they'd be like, everyone knows about her. She's the biggest act on the planet. And then you just sort of crumple in on yourself.
Just be overshadowed by children. That's ultimately the future. You know, the children will one day overthrow us all and put us into homes.
Speaking of the future, they just straight into the new album, though, doesn't it? The album of the week.
Oh,
the big one.
Yeah, the album of the week.
I was looking for a sort of Phoebe bridge over to the album of the week, and I think we found one.
Jesus Christ!
Did you think that pun was a Punisher? So you start with the terrible one, and then you follow up with a slightly better one. We're talking about Phoebe Bridgers' new album, Punisher.
Which is amazing. And yes, we're going to be joined by, as become normal now, we need a professional to come in and talk about it a bit more. Unfortunately, all professionals were already booked. So we've gone with Ali Shutler, who's returning to the show. He's got no excuse. He doesn't know what to expect. He knows what's coming. But he's here. And he's going to be talking about it and a lot more in a sec. It's an amazing album. So shall we get in the mood for it by playing Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers?
We should.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Here's Kyoto. Lovely. Just immediate laughter. Sorry, lads.
Jesus, what? No one even fucking said anything.
It's not as charming when it's not the start of the show, is it? Like, you know, if I'm having a breakdown halfway through.
You've just played a song by Phoebe Bridgers and then laughed at it.
Well, I was kind of expecting Jamie to kind of come, you know, to be like, and that was this song. Wasn't it lovely? There was just tumbleweed.
I'm going to be really honest. I don't know why
He didn't even introduce you. He didn't even introduce you. He just sat there in silence and then laughed.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what...
here now. Ali's here to talk about the new Phoebe Bridgers album. We just played Kyoto from that album, and Jamie then had a complete mental breakdown.
See, Jamie, that's how you do it.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake.
What do you think of that song, Ali? Please ignore the laughing maniac.
Does Jamie need to go outside for 5 minutes?
Oh, it's okay. Okay, I think I'm. I wish you would. I think I'm composed. Yes, that was Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers. Brilliant song. The laughing wasn't for that. I promise. I don't know what it was for.
Crack up. It sounds like you're taking the piss.
There's actually a bit of like water under my eyes. I'm not taking the piss. I really like that song.
It's so insincere.
Oh, all right. Yes, Kyoto. Phoebe Bridgers. Amazing stuff. As Jake has mentioned, we are joined now by Mr. Ali Shutler. Ali, how are you doing? It's nice to have you back.
I was doing okay, and then I had to listen to all this, and now I'm not so sure.
That's just the usual reviews of this show. I'll be honest, Ali. It's
I feel like every person that's come onto the show has said exactly the same thing. So
we're having a good time, and then we listened. Not great, to be honest. Oh god. Well, it's great to have you back, and we're here talking about Phoebe Bridgers and her new album Punisher. This album, wow indeed. Her second studio album. It's kind of really just grabbed people's attention this past week. What?
Yeah, it's because she released it, I think.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I think that will. More bands need to take note of that.
Loads of people suddenly started caring about this album after it was released, which is interesting.
It's amazing how well it's done. It's amazing how well it's done.
Tell me more.
But it's a standout new album, and just jaw-dropping stuff. Ali, as someone who has spoken to Phoebe,
as someone who
about
has
this
opinions
album,
beyond it's good, would you
who is
please
professional,
walk us through?
who's much more professional than this. What do you think about this album, and what do you think is kind of like grabbing people's attention towards it at the moment, apart from the fact that it has just been released?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's the big one. The fact that people can hear it, I think, is really doing big things for the music.
Big numbers.
But also, I think the fact that's like, so she released her debut, Drain to the Alps, a few years ago, and then she did like Better Oblivion Community Centre with Conor Oberst, and then she did Boy Genius. So like, she's released sort of 3 sort of incredible records in recent years. She's always kind of been sort of, I guess, slowly turning heads and stuff. Like there's been a buzz around her. No like breakout moment, but there's like this undercurrent of, oh, okay, she's someone that's actually doing really interesting, amazing things. And I think it's all kind of come to a head with this record, where she kind of, she's been promoting it a lot. I think there's a lot of like hype around it, and I think it delivers. Like it's a really interesting record. Like I'm not a huge fan of a lot of that kind of acoustic indie emo, because it's like, this is nice, but beyond that there's not a whole lot to it. But this record kind of takes that as a foundation and does, I guess, lots of like interesting things. Like the closing track in particular, like it starts off quite beautifully and then breaks down in some sort of weird post-rock end of the world apocalypse thing. That kind of feels very apt for right now.
I think that's it as well, isn't it? It's like I think I'm similar to you in that regard when it comes to like that kind of like acoustic, quite quiet, like emotionally kind of like raw, kind of like acoustic, kind of like songwriting. I'm kind of like I it's not really my thing that much. But with this, I don't know if whether it's because her songwriting is so direct, or whether it's something about her voice, but it's just like you're immediately like from the first like track, you're just like drawn into it. Like that, her songwriting in particular, it like she can jump between being just like really funny at one moment and then like just being able to so simply just say something that just like immediately gets you, doesn't it?
I think that's the thing, like because it's so direct and like it's not trying to be anything else. Like it's not trying to be like overly beautiful, overly poetic. It's very like, this is just kind of what it is, and like that's pretty inescapable as like a listener. Because I don't know about you, but like for me, this record, it feels like one of those ones that kind of heightens whatever mood you're currently in.
100%.
So like I spent, just before I interviewed her, I spent the day like listening to it. And like I hadn't spoken to anyone in a few weeks. You know what lockdown's like. Like you just don't see anyone or speak to anyone. And I was like, I've got to speak to an actual person on the phone for like half an hour. And it really got under my skin, the record did. And I was like, I feel really weird about it.
And then like, you're not currently living with your girlfriend.
Yeah, but like you see that.
That's a terrifying
you see the same people.
into Ali's domestic life.
just not talking to anyone for weeks on end.
It's all sign language now.
Slamming doors with the Phoebe Bridgers album on full volume.
Are you going to turn that off? I can't do
it.
Just listening to Naughty's new metal and being really angsty about everything. It's what my. Fortunately, I'm past that part of lockdown now, and now I'm
That's good.
Going outside and drinking water. Jamie, you should try that.
Yeah, Jamie, please.
I haven't been watered in a while, to be honest. I'm a wilting flower of a man.
Do other people normally do the watering for you? Lockdown's been hard for him because no one's been there to force bottles of water down his throat.
Well, I think that's why he goes to gigs.
It keeps the blood circulating. I've got to try it. But as I shrivel, this album has really soundtracked that. It can be, as you're saying, just like really, just like beautifully, like just like powerful. And just it's just one of those albums as well that it kind of like just flows really like I hate to say like quickly, but you kind of put it on, you play, and then you're like, oh wow, it's like finished because it's just that easy and that direct, just like straight into you. I don't know what that is that's done that.
I like every single part of this album except that bit right at the end where she does the strange breathing. Like the last seconds of the album, because I agree, you put it on and you don't even realise how long it's been on for, so you're not really prepared for it, and then just out of nowhere there's no music and there's just like horror movie breathing in the living room, and I can't deal with that, and especially as you say in lockdown, like I'm not in my normal state of mind. Any noise scares me. I'm like a house cat now, any alien noise and I'll be under the sofa. So
I think it's a very good album. It's a good album for like right now, because like I don't know about you, but I'm at the point of lockdown where like obviously I started out as like, oh, it's going to be fine. I'll listen to a load of my favourite songs and remember when things weren't horrible. But now I'm just like, there's no avoiding it. Everything is terrible. And this album, which is like quite concerned with like the ends of things and how like you are as a person in relation to everyone else in your life. It's just, it very much embraces the bleakness of everything and doesn't try and like, it'll be all right. Doesn't bother with that. And at this point in the current climate, I need that. I don't need hope. I need someone to go, yeah, no, everything is shit, innit?
Well, I feel like I basically either need completely unrelenting optimism or an admission of how bleak the world is, and nothing in between. Something either needs to be like incredibly over the top, happy bubblegum stuff, or just someone sort of whispering into a microphone and telling me that I'm going to die. I think those two are the...
God, that's where we are. Like, this is it.
We're beyond silver linings.
God, I mean, I think that what the album does as well is, we talked a little bit about the lyrics there, and there's almost like there's not many people who can write songs and write lyrics that are like the sort of lyrics that you'd see people end up getting like tattoos of them, like on their arm. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the sort of like, words that she's like, flying out are just like stunning. Like, I will wait for the next time you want me, like a dog with a bird at your door. Like, isn't that just stunning,
Yeah. A stunning bird at the door. I'm not sure. Is that your idea of romance, Jamie? You're like, I wish someone would just turn up with a bird in their mouth.
And this is where I am. No one's done that yet, and so here I am, just staring out of the door into the abyss, looking at pigeons eating their own young. God, life's good, isn't it? Life's good. Anyway.
What?
Anyway, Phoebe Bridgers.
Jamie, what are you talking about? What's happening?
This album's really got to me. This album's really got to me.
Not London Safari.
It's just got to me. It's just proper got to me. Anyway, aside from my own, darkness that slowly creeps, do you think this is a sort of album that's going to take Phoebe to like another level? Like you were saying before, Ali, she's kind of like been someone who for a while, people have been like, wow, she's like, the special like songwriter, I guess, of this like generation in a lot of ways, and especially in that world of like similar artists. Do you think this is the album that's going to take her like just like way beyond that?
I think so, because when I spoke to her, she was on about how, I think it was Bright Eyes' tour manager had this joke about how because that band was so like under the radar for so long, it felt like they were like best new band for like 15 years in a row. And I guess, cause she's kind of had that for the past 3 years. Like these records have come out and people have really connected with them, but it's kind of still felt quite like an underground sort of thing. But I mean, she's worked with she's on the new Hayley Williams album. She's on the new 1975 album. She's meant to be touring with them, but obviously live music doesn't exist anymore unless you drive to it in a car. And I kind of feel like it's an album that's kind of ready for that next step. Like there's lots of little flourishes on the record that I imagine live will be kind of these big emotional sort of crescendos. But kind of right now they're just quite comforting and kind of interesting and I think as a record and her as a person, I think she's kind of waiting for that kind of pop star breakthrough moment.
Yeah.
Well, so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, Jake, release your album, mate.
Yeah. I mean, we've heard the demos.
I think the reason I'm not currently turning heads is because I haven't released my album this week. Whereas if I had, then all the cover interviews would come rolling in. Jamie would be talking about pigeons with reference to me. Ali would speak to me for the first time, and I'd be there. But it's not me; it's her. And her album's a lot better than any album I could make, anyway, because I can't play any instruments or sing.
I mean, I don't think you should put yourself down like that, Jake. I think with the right songwriters, the right team, the right motivation, I think you could turn out some sort of weird, I guess, wonky indie project. I assume that's what
wonky
you do.
is the word. Wonky is the word.
Wonky. The word people use. The word people attach to stuff when they're not actually sure if it's good. Yeah, it's wonky.
So,
you might like it because it's wonky.
Come on, it's wonky.
It's just a nice way of saying weird, isn't it?
Yeah. All bit
It
wonky.
could be shit, but I'm not sure yet. That's
I don't want to pass judgment until someone else does.
Which isn't how you would describe Phoebe Bridgers.
I feel
Amazing stuff.
We're doing a disservice to the album because it is incredible. I kind of feel like if you've heard, because I assume her on the 1975 track would have been a lot of people's first introduction to her.
Yeah, for a bunch of people, it definitely will be this is the introduction to. Who is this?
But kind of that track was quite sort of, it was very acoustic. There wasn't a whole bunch more to it beyond kind of the weird, lonely, separated duet that her and Meaty did. But this kind of album, I guess it builds on the sentiment of that track, but kind of takes it in new directions with kind of, as we mentioned before, all the flourishes and kind of, I guess, embracing the wanting to play live and be loud and noisy and kind of seen.
Yeah, no, definitely. It also with this album, it just feels like it can be just a diary, anyone's diary, just written out, just very basic, as in here's how I'm feeling and getting that across in the music, and you can kind of feel that. And I think maybe that's why people are going to be so drawn to this, and why it's an album that it feels like it's going to just live on for a lot of people as just a really personal record for them. And that's a hard thing to do for any artist.
It's so fleshed out as well, as an album. I think it's easy even when you're talking about it to make it sound almost like that kind of acousticy project, almost as if it's not fully realised. And then when you listen to it, because I agree, I think all of us here are saying that kind of acousticy indie stuff is normally not that gripping, whether you like it or not. Yeah. It's just sort of nice to have on. But I feel like this is an album that even if you put it on in the background, you end up just listening to this album instead of doing anything else. Because it is just so fully realised as an album. It's so everything it wants to be. I can't imagine that she could even go back to this in 5 or 10 years and think of anything that she'd want to change about it,
Yeah, it's one of those.
Right, well, we've run out of things to say about it, so should we play another song?
Yeah, why?
Yes,
why
definitely. Ali, what should we play?
I think the closing track, I think, is probably the best one. I kind of feel like the whole album builds to kind of that song, but also it's a nice lead into, I guess, where she could go next, depending on if she's going to go straight into another solo work or if she's going to do another Boy Genius, another Boy Oblivion thing.
That's it. You don't know. So I guess we should play it.
Does this mean I have to listen to the scary breathing?
It means
again?
You have to. So
okay, all right. I'll hold your virtual hands.
You have to.
Yeah.
But we'll be here for
let's
you,
all
Jake.
Let's all virtually hold them and let's have a listen. So this is I Know the End.
Find a new place to be from, a haunted house with a picket fence to float around and ghost my friends. No, I'm not afraid to disappear.
is quite scary. I will give you that. It's a stunning track, but that breathing at the end is quite scary. Is it breathing or is it is it like screaming or?
I just think I don't know what it is. That's how I
think
breathe. If that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I have to mute the mic every time I breathe because that's how I sound.
Like that, isn't
I'm sure. I'm sure someone who knows production and vocals can probably tell us what it is, but it's just
nice
noise.
noise
to me.
is better.
Nice noise.
Oh, it's not out of keeping at all. It just scares me. It's not like I find it jarring. I just think it's quite a
nice
sinister
noise is better than
in
bad
general.
noise.
It is, and that's why I think we can tell Ali to leave now because I don't like the noises he's making.
I'm glad you're the bouncer this week. I'm happy about that because the other weeks I've been the one clearing people out, and Jake's like,
well, you always complain that you have to be the bad cop, so here I am, rocking you like a hurricane.
Fine, I'll go sit in a dark room and think about. I don't know, the end.
Bye.
Great, sounds good. Have fun.
Bye.
Jamie, now that Ali is gone, I've actually had something playing in my mind.
Yeah, what's been playing?
Well, the thing is, it's I've got my window open because it's been a bit warmer, and every 7 days or so, I try and rank the different bird noises outside, and I can't think of a name for what I'd call that ranking. So it's just the best bird noises of the last 7 days. Can you think of anything?
I don't, but I think someone over here does. Sorry, let me just ask him questions there. Tweets of the week. That hurt.
I can't hold it. Honestly, the state of it. Absolute state of it.
It actually hurts my voice. We're back with tweets of the week. As always, we select, a couple of tweets that have been, really caught our eye and poses some deep questions as well. We want to know these questions. We also want to know what's the thinking behind these tweets. So we go to the good and the great to find out more. I have the first tweet, and what I just want to say before it is we're all adults here. We're all aware of the world. So let's just take what's coming and roll with it. Famous Newcastle singer Sam Fender has tweeted.
I'm so worried about this.
He's tweeted, "Cannot wait to deep throat a Greg's sausage roll."
Oh no. This is the bad place, isn't it? This is it. This is what we deserve. This is what 3 months of lockdown has led us to. They're quite hot when you get them as well. You're going to scald the back of your throat.
This is it. First of all, this is a clear indication as to why artists who are, doing really well for themselves, on a big level, maybe should have someone to check their tweets now and again, because that is a big thing to just
No, the opposite of that, no.
You think
I
we should have
couldn't
more of
stand
this?
a Twitter without this kind of content. If this had to be checked by anyone, they'd say no, and then all we'd get is like, "Come to my show," and it'd be like, "No, that's no fun. There's no fun."
New deluxe edition, whereas Sam Fender is like, new deluxe edition.
He's not like outing himself as a racist or anything. It's not a bad tweet. It's just a bit weird.
He's just gone into deep throating a Greg's sausage roll,
which is fine. It's legal. It's not hurting anyone.
Legal. Here's the thing. I'm not, the term deep throat and deep throating as a whole. As you will, do what you want, I've got nothing against it. Have at you, if you will, if the cookie fits and all that. But a Greg sausage roll, as you were saying, Jake, usually scalding hot. So in practical terms, I think Sam has not thought this through.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm sorry, I can't really concentrate. I'm just thinking about. I'm trying to remember the exact dimensions of a Greggs sausage roll. Because I reckon at a push, I could probably get the whole thing in my mouth. I think I'd probably throw up immediately afterwards, but
it's a weird one, isn't it? It's longer than you expect because usually it's a slightly shorter size.
Yeah,
but
like
when
Lord
you
of the
actually
Rings
get it out
extended edition.
Yeah. When you get it out of the packaging, it's suddenly shit. There's a lot to work with here.
I think that's the issue because the packaging is shorter than the sausage roll. So when you see the packaging, you think to yourself, "Oh, that's fine." But then obviously there's another couple of inches of sausage roll over the top. I'm going to move on because we're really both avoiding any kind of innuendo here. But it's only so long before we crack, and I don't think anyone needs that.
I just want to say, number one, you're in an issue there of swallowing it as a whole. Number two, I'm going to say it. What's your reflex like? We don't want you throwing up all over the place. Imagine how bleak that would be. You've tried to have a bit of fun deep throwing a sausage roll, and next thing you know, you've got sick all over you. You're wondering where you are, the state of the world. So just think about these things. Sam can't wait to do it. Good on you, my man. Go for it. But also, think twice. Stay safe, is all I'm saying.
You done?
I think there's nothing more we can add to it. I don't think there's anything more we can add to this.
You done, yeah?
Go
we
for
move
it.
on now?
Yeah, I need to...
Right, I've got a tweet.
Go on then.
Yeah, so my tweet is actually, it's also food-based, but more picked for the absurdity of it.
Is it as risque as that?
Nothing. The best thing about it is it's Liam. I was just saying, it's Liam Gallagher, and he's just tweeted chicken jalfrezi and a dansack, please. Which to me, I mean, bearing in mind Liam Gallagher's age, makes it almost feels like he's accidentally put that on Twitter instead of saying it over the phone. Is that something you could do? Is that possible?
I'll be honest, I expected his order to be a bit more spicy, you know? I thought he was a Madras man, I'll be honest with you.
I like jalfrezi. I like Madras too. I think they're both good. The annoying thing for me is that there's a variation in spice between curry houses, you know? Because some places I like a Madras, other places it's a bit much.
I've had it as well. My local, my local Indian curry house. The Madras is too much for me, and I'm a fan of Madras, but it's always a bit too much. And it hurts,
also, can I say this is a bizarre order? This is a bizarre order.
Yeah.
So he's ordering
what's he asking for
a curry and then another curry.
And another curry.
So he's ordered two curries and no naan, no bhajis, no anything. It's just two curries.
None of that. Yeah. I feel like, is that normal? I don't think that's normal.
No, I usually get the one sides, curry, don't you? Well, I think if you get the two, then you can maybe share them. And also, I think, realistically, I don't know whether a curry house is going to be good at both of those. Those are from different areas of India, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Like, it's a concern, isn't it? You know,
plus, the dansak is significantly hotter than a jalfrezi, so he might as well go hotter than the jalfrezi.
He might as well, to be honest. Yeah, you are right. You might as well go for it. We're not telling Liam Gallagher what to do. He's done all right for himself. If he wants to, go for a curry sometimes, what I would recommend with this curry, and don't know about you, but I reckon, he's got his chicken jalfrezi, he's got his dansak. I reckon he should get a roll with it.
Do you think he wears a parka when he eats a curry?
Anyone? It's too much. It's too much for him. Surely he's too hot at that point.
Well, I don't know. I think he wears them for most occasions. I didn't even want to say that. That's not even an interesting thing to say. It's just it was either that or sit here in silence for the rest of eternity while we tried to work out why you decided to make that horrible joke.
sometimes you've got to roll the
I think
dice.
actually this tweet is a bit crap and it's a bit weird and I don't like it. And I think we should play a track by Oasis to remind us why we put up with Liam Gallagher tweeting about curries. What time did he tweet this, actually? I didn't even look at this. What time is we talking?
It was 7:30. That's okay. That's okay.
Fine.
It wasn't
that's
too
actually
bad. That's
perfectly
fine.
acceptable.
Yeah. Can I just flag as well in his Twitter bio? There's a lot going on here. So it's rock and roll star.
Rock and roll star, yeah.
Godlike. Rasta, which I don't know if he is. Icon, legend, biblical, omnipresent, prophet, comedian, majestical.
This is like he's just picked things out of a hat.
Celestial. He's also Buddhist and Jedi, but he's approachable, which is nice, isn't it?
Nice, yeah.
And he's also
Someone's replied.
Zen.
Oh yeah, sorry, go on. I didn't realise
Sorry, I
there'd
must
be
get the
more.
last bit. There is more than this. He's also a Zen, lover, humble.
Wow, he's a lot.
He's all of that and more.
Someone's replied to his tweet that just says, "I just want to tell you that you're doing incredible, honey. We're already proud of you, and it does not enter my heart so much love for you." He's just tweeted about a curry. He's tweeted about
Jalfrezi and the Dansack. When I message people and tell them that I'm having a curry, I usually get told to sort my life out.
Or just to order it and stop talking about it.
Yeah. God.
Anyway, a track.
Picture the scene. It's Liam Gallagher at home with a bunch of various curries around, at least the Jalfrezi and the Dansack. And he's got the Parker on, and he's ready to roll. He's about to, really, give it socks, if you will. Should we play Rock and Roll Star?
Yeah, go on then. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Let's get lit. Here we go. I'd just like to apologise for the term "let's get lit." I got carried away there. I
actually didn't get to enjoy any of Rock and Roll Star because I was throwing up so much.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Awful.
It's been a long week.
I think what we can do to wash away the bitter taste of you using the phrase "let's get lit" is to look back, think about some bands that we like, some bands that we love, and some bands that deserve so much more than we're able to give in a feature I like to call. Now, that's what I call a Hall of Fame. Now, Jamie.
Soothing. I'm already soothed.
Jamie, I've got a bit of a quiz for you.
Yeah? Oh, you got a quiz? Okay. Oh, yeah, Jesus. All right, go on then.
John Lennon, right, has ordered pie and mash, okay? And they said, do you want peas with that, right? And he said, yes, I like the band Peace. Should we talk about them for our Hall of Fame feature? True or false?
Fuck's sake. I reckon it's true.
No, he's been dead for years. He has no idea what Peace are. But anyway, we're going to talk about them for this feature. I'm going to give you some advice, Jamie. I'm going to give you some advice. Never tell someone you've got a quiz for them when you haven't thought about anything you're going to say after that phrase.
I was about to say, you clearly didn't have anything ready.
I said it, and then I thought to myself, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why I've said that.
And now, I've got to do something with that. Oh, God. From John Lennon ordering peas to
give peas a chance was meant to be the punchline, but I ruined it.
All you're saying is give peas a chance. All right, we need to wash this away as well. We're going to play an absolute hit from Peace. This is a banger. This is Rafe. We're composed. We're washed away now.
We are. It's all okay. I love Peace, and I always forget how much I love Peace. And then you play a track by them, and I just think to myself, God, yeah, that's good.
Peace is just one of those bands which just feels like, are just unbelievable and also criminally underrated in terms of where they should be. In a world, they came up in a world of different bands. There was around at a time where there was so much stuff breaking through and so much exciting stuff. Obviously there was all the Birmingham kind of scene that was all bubbling along there, where they kind of ended up in the midst of that. But there's also stuff like Wolf Alice kind of emerging back in those days and kind of really making a mark and kind of everything from that. And this is a band who I feel should be so much bigger than they are. So much bigger than they are.
Well, I feel like there was definitely a load of those bands that came up they should have been the next kind of indie royalty. And a load of them kind of died away. Because I think it was in that period when no one really knew, because streaming was just hit really big, proper.
Yeah. People didn't really know what was going on there.
So no one really knew what to do. And then there was actually kind of a fallow period after that before, I'd say, 2017, 2018, when a load of new bands came back bubbling through again, and there was a load of incredible debut albums. There was definitely a bit in the middle, which should have been for bands like Peace and Swim Deep as well, I think.
Oh, 100%.
And a few of them to have that kind of Brixton Academy level sort of. And instead, it was just they kind of floundered through no fault of their own. And I think there's a few bands from that period where I listened back to Peace. Because obviously I knew we were going to do this because it's just the two of us, and one of us just has to know what's going on.
And we're communicating,
we are
at all times.
And I listened back, and I just thought to myself, it's just they haven't put a foot wrong. They have, they should be Ali Pally levels.
Yeah, 100%. And also, there's just something about them, isn't it? It's that kind of very free and fun and just jubilant kind of indie sound that they've got. It's all about
without
just
sounding too kind of bubblegum about it. This is what I think's good. They've got a real classic indie sound, but there is just that optimism to it, which I think is incredible. It's great.
Yeah. It's just fun, optimistic, energetic, going for it, but also they're willing to be, slightly extravagant as well at the same time. They're willing to be that band who are slightly larger than just, we're just four dudes hanging about by the back of a van. They're trying to be more than that. John? Basically, yeah. Screaming, I'm still standing on
exactly.
on
Peace is still standing.
Better than they ever did. But yeah, that debut album. Oh, I think so. That's the lyrics, right? I don't know what he was trying to say on that stream.
That's just
like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that bit. I lost confidence pretty soon after I started.
And this is why I'm here.
Let's play another Peace
debut
song.
album. In Love, their debut album, right?
Oh, I see. Now we're going to carry on. Fine.
We go.
I want another song, but what Jamie wants goes. I guess. Yeah, fine. Yeah, the debut album. Go on, mate.
Well, no, this nicely ties in though, because In Love was
you just wish I wasn't here. I see how it is. Yeah. You could just talk on your own. It'll all nicely fit together, would it, Jamie? Would it?
Please don't leave me. That debut album was unbelievable, just really different from everything that was going on at the time. I remember going to Reading and seeing them, and just literally, I went along as someone who'd heard a couple of tracks and was I'll check them out, and I left as this band are phenomenal, amazing. There was something in that tent of I think it was Reading 2013 maybe. There was something in that tent which was just pure energy, and everyone was just on every single word that they were going for. And one song that went down an absolute storm was this one. It's an absolute fizzer. So shall we listen to Lovesick?
Yeah, fine, whatever. Don't care.
That song is over very quickly, I've realised. It's a very quick song.
Yeah, I didn't even really have time to get over my anger at you cutting me off to tell such a boring anecdote about Reading 2013. Honestly, what was that all about?
Just,
Jake, you can't play the
of...
song yet. I want to talk about the fact that I saw them and it was quite good.
I've given some insight, some colour, if you will, to proceedings, Bit of this, bit of that. Bit of spice, bit of parsley on top of your peace pie.
What's the album of theirs with a sort of yellow cover with the peace symbol on it, with them in each different bit of the peace symbol?
Happy People. Happy People is the one.
So
Yes.
that one came out when I was at uni, and I went to a launch party for it run by the local indie night, and there was no one for peace there. I don't understand what the launch party was. They were throwing out T-shirts, and the T-shirts just had "peace" written on them in like a font I don't know if the band have ever used, so I'm pretty sure they got them printed themselves. And
Someone's
then the
just written
grand
the word
prize,
"peace" on the
there was
shirt.
like there will be one free copy of the album given away, and I actually got the copy of the album, and it was in like almost when you make your own DVD and you get the kind of floppy plastic cases. Rather than the jewel case, you've just got the sort of slip case for it.
Yeah, I know the ones. Yeah, like a little slip.
Yeah, so it was with a very clearly like home printed front cover on it, and then the CD inside. And to this day, I can't work out how they had the CD itself looked like it was from the album, but everything else was clearly homemade. So I don't understand. It was all very weird, and they didn't play any Peace all night. They didn't play a single Peace song all night.
Brilliant. Like a proper launch party then. Oh, this is a band that we're celebrating.
I doubt Peace were even aware of it. If someone had said to them, oh, there's a launch party at the propaganda night in Reading tonight, they'd be like, no,
they would have shut it down.
Yeah, they would have gone, I'm not having that.
Absolutely not. Get that out of our name. God. But yeah, no, Happy People, obviously, another album. Throughout their career, they've kind of just kept on like serving up like those like amazing songs that were there from the start, really, and also that just like spirit, isn't it? It's that spirit of just like there's a really like it's just like youthful spirit of like first moments for like things happening to people's lives. And you can hear that across everything that they've done so far. Like even with their last album, "Kindness is the New Rock and Roll," which kind of was like, I don't want to say a departure because it wasn't really a departure, but it was like a little step away into slightly more like classic kind of like influences and songwriting and stuff.
Different part of the same swimming pool.
Yeah. They're all in the deep end, and we're all paddling. And we're all having a nice time, It's just that this one has just dived in, Isn't that an album? Isn't that what an album is? Wear your trunks, at least, for the love of God.
For God's sake.
For God's sake, not again.
Mr.
Not
Wayne,
again.
I will not see another member of the Wayne family without his trunks on in a swimming pool.
I will not see another Batman's Batman. Again, this has happened again. Oh, sorry.
All roads lead to Michael Caine. Right, should we play a final Peace song to round off what has proven to be the most amateur show yet?
Yeah, why not? This is an absolute my favourite, really. I mean, this was kind of like on their really first EPs. So do you remember that Delicious EP where it was like the little watermelon that was like sliced in like all the different spots?
I don't actually eat the EPs I get given, so I'm not sure which ones taste good or bad. But yeah, the Delicious EP, yeah.
Is that why I was slightly ill back in 2012?
But yeah, this is a very early one and a very good one as well. So,
yes, it's a lovely one.
Jamie, do you want to lead us in gently by the hand?
This is Bloodshake. Do you spit blood at the sun?
I try, but it's so far away, I never get close enough.
I was about to say,
spit it back into my own eyes.
If you manage to get even close, that is amazing, first of all, but also terrifying in a lot of ways.
Most of them, almost all of them. I think, Jamie, that's about all we've got time for today.
Yeah, I think that is. Unfortunately, we're going to have to bid you adieu. Head into the night.
I think this might actually be the longest show we've done. So
it could be. So if you're
welcome,
still here,
everyone.
Yeah, we're serving up more and more content. Is the idea?
Basically,
and
it's
also,
like the same amount. It's the same amount of content, just spread thinner and thinner.
Yeah, and also we're lonely as well. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, the second. I don't know what that was. Just the second that lockdown ends, we'll be won't even be interested in these anymore. Just be like, what again? Whereas now I'm like, oh please, give me the contact, human contact.
This is all we have. This is me and Jake's time alone that we have every week. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I enjoy it.
Any predictions for what to expect in the next few days, Jacob?
Oh God, I hadn't thought of this. I forgot. It's Paul McCartney's birthday, isn't it?
Oh, no way! Oh,
yeah.
Well,
so
happy birthday! Oh,
I think it is anyway. Let me check. I just.
It was recent.
This is going to be a whole big thing on the show.
Oh, no, we missed it.
18th of June. 18th of June.
Paul McCartney. Happy birthday.
So I think for Paul McCartney's birthday, he's going to spend a lot of money to take out a hit on Ringo, and Ringo's going to get pushed off a cliff. And they'll say it was suicide, but it was actually Paul McCartney. What do you reckon is going to happen?
Sorry. Just a hit on Ringo. Because it's like, the 1950s. I've got this image, it's like a mafia hit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I reckon, we've obviously seen that football is now back. Matches are going on. I reckon we're going to see Robbie Williams return to the live stage, and he's going to play in an empty stadium and going to swear at the camera like he did at the World Cup a few years ago. I reckon Robbie's going to make the live comeback before anyone else. That's my money.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Sounds reasonable. Anyway, well, I'm gonna go and sort my life out now. Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been fun, hasn't it? It's been great.
Thanks, and remember, no matter what time it is you wake up in the night and you can't get back to sleep, we're always there, ready to lend a helping hand.